Hello! I was hidden behind my logo. Hello! And welcome to Live from the Living Room. My name is Sam Rubinstein. I am your host, and on behalf of the Second Renaissance Arts Program, thank you for being here. We have an amazing show prepared with a bunch of wonderful features, some cool folks. An open mic is available that you can sign up for, and absolutely you should sign up for it. Because why not? Like, what do you got going on? What are we doing here? You know? So we've got this delightful experience all set up for everybody. If you are interested in signing up for the open mic, the registration link is in the description, and we will gladly send you a thingamajigger. I don't know what it's called, a link, email, to get to our backstage section so you can join us for this strange and magical journey. With that said, I want to get us started with a few poems. I'm going to do one new one and then one from I'm going to do one from here and then one new one. This is my book. It's A Candle Regaining Strength. We're having a virtual book release party for it on Friday, 7:30. You can tune into that and hear me complain and be weird about it. But first, I'm going to read the introduction poem because I feel like why not start with an introduction? Hi there. I don't mean to bother you, but I just thought that I should come by and say, hey, thanks for taking the time to read this strange little thing, this brief but important venture into my brain. It really means a lot. Now, I don't want to keep you here too long, but tonight we've got many things, and I think you'll like them. We've got ice cream, cars, poems, and all sorts of cool, groovy things. We've got Gengar's little brown books and one of the greatest shows you're ever going to watch. We also have some serious stuff, like growing up, fear, and maybe a bit of sadness. I think that all I'm trying to say is I wrote this book for you, we made this show for you, and I hope you like it. Wherever you are, really glad you're here now. Thank you. You should come watch that show. With that, I'm going to do something relatively new. If you've not seen it, it is a poem from what will at some point be a new collection. So this is, I think, my second time ever reading it, like in front of people. This poem is called Advice on Your Best Friend's Suicide Attempt. So if you need a trigger warning regarding suicide, this is your moment. 1. As much as it may seem scary right now, don't cry. Don't show an ounce of anything other than warmth. This moment isn't about you, and if you cry, it can only make things worse. They are feeling weak, and your tears only serve to prove what they're already thinking. 2. Know your rights, but also theirs. Are they able to afford a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, medication? Do they have a support group at home, or is it just you? Who knows? No, why? Ask why. Why now? Why today? Why so close to a Friday? Why here? Know as much as you can. 3. Let them know that they are okay, and that they will be okay, that being okay is okay. None of us are perfect, and okay and alive can be synonyms sometimes. Life is hard. Living is hard sometimes, and living is hard, and sometimes okay is all you can be. And that's fine. 4. Know that as much as it hurts, you're not a therapist. You're not a doctor. You don't have the training, and even if you did, it would be illegal to be their doctor. So no, you can't solve this. Know that as much as you want to take every part of their pain and burden, you physically can't do it. Don't try. It's not worth the hardship. I'm sorry, but it's true. You are just one person. You cannot save the world, even if the world is just your best friend. 5. Know the process. Know that if you're going to call 911, your friend will end up in a hospital, stuck on watch with no access to the world. Know that they will stand online waiting for medications. They will be pulled from school or work or life. The police will break in and take them from their homes if they need to. Know that the police will always decide they need to. Know that your decision did this, and feel that fear. Know that they'll be angry. They'll be mad. They will hate you possibly forever. You are the reason their mom cried in ER lobby at 2 a.m. You are the reason their dad doesn't look them in the eye anymore. And number 6, finally, remember that they're alive. That for every moment of doubt, every angry call, glaring hatred, pain in your chest, seeing the person that you love distance themselves further and further from you, know that they are alive. They are on this earth another day, and that is worth more than anything. It doesn't matter if they don't talk to you again, because they're still here. Dead friends can't come to your wedding. They don't tell you they love you. They won't help you move, and they won't be your first child's godfather. Dead friends don't smile or laugh at your corny jokes. And a living person, no matter how far removed, is better than missing your dead friend. Trust me, I know. Thank you. Started off in a weird spot, and we're going to keep the world kind of going, kind of keep us moving. I'm going to get ready to bring out our first poet. We have an amazing lineup of 3 phenomenal poets that are going to just absolutely crush the mic, because let's be real, you didn't come here to see me. You came here to see them and to hopefully join the open mic. Join the open mic. You should join the open mic. Join the open mic, you know? With that said, let's get ourselves started. Our first poet coming to the mic really doesn't need an introduction, but they gave me the chance to read one. So here we go. Propaganda Poet. Beowulf is a Shawnee Gypsy Jew, social justice humanist who is currently in the 30th year of his open mic world tour. He sees tattoos as physical manifestations of emotional scars and lost count of his somewhere around 20. He has been accused of being a teacher, musician, writer, performer, spoken word, slam artist, and warrior poet. But in the end, it all comes down to his personal statement. This world makes no sense to me, so I make music and poetry. Welcome to the virtual stage, the one, the only, Propaganda Poet. Hello!
Peace, love, and poetry. How are you doing, my new friend?
I am good. It's been a long time since I got the chance to see you and talk with you. I am very glad that you were able to make it.
I am very happy to be here. I'm a little rushed, and I apologize. My life is kind of a catastrophe right now, but poetry.
I fully understand. My life is always a little bit of a catastrophe, so I'm going to let you take the stage. Take it away, kick butt, take names.
Check, check, check. Can you hear me?
All good.
Okay, sweet. 1, happy National Poetry Month, y'all. 1 should always be drunk. That's all that matters. So if you not feel time's horrible burdens that breaks your shoulders and bows you down, you must get drunk without ceasing. But what with? With wine, with poetry, or with virtue, as you choose. But get drunk. And if it's sometime on the steps of a palace or in the green grass of a ditch or in the bleak solitude of your own room, you are awaking and drunkenness has already abated, ask the wind, the wave, the star, the bird, the clock, although it rolls, although it soars, although it sings, although it screams, ask them what time it is in the wind, the wave, the star, the bird, the clock will reply, it is time. Get drunk. So you not be the martyred slaves of time. Get drunk, and never pause for rest. With wine, with poetry, or with virtue, as you choose. Welcome. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming by. That was a poem by the French poet Baudelaire. I figured I'd start off with that because it is National Poetry Month, and that's what I'm here celebrating, because life is rough right now. So poetry. So I will share with you one of my old slam pieces, and then some stuff out of a book, then some brand new stuff, and I'll finish us off with a song. How about that? That's what I think I'll do. Let me grab a cough drop here. Growing up, Batman was always my hero. But the Joker felt real. You see, Batman weaponized white privilege. The Joker became the system's victim. But what do I know? I ain't nothing. Like the truth ain't nothing. Like the truth ain't nothing but the truth. I ain't nothing but a spoken word artist. Now, a few have accused me of being a teacher, and others have even gone so far as to call me friend, but I'm just a punk after drunk stuck out here in the Midwest trying to hold up my own end when they tell us to hold our fire, but we can see the whites of their lies printed right there in our textbooks, framed by the red and the blue of the powers that be, the same ones that turn the letter X into a commodity and the indigenous nations into a mystery. So now from sea to shining sea, we have kids who can't even cross their hearts or dot their third eyes, so they don't even recognize that their spirit is being tied into a bottle that will soon be spun for no one. And whenever I question why we're stuck in standardized tests, I'm told to mind my own P's and Q's and just keep on marching air tune like I'm supposed to be strapping on army boots when I should be marching with a million men and women down that historic route. So we can find the stories' roots before they just traded in their red food. And then the conquerors had the nerve to carve their faces in Mount Buckmore, overlooking the spiritual significance of the incomplete Crazy Horse Monument, pointing towards unfinished business about ancient tribal societies, when it was all about family and metaphor was reality. And we all understood that trickster coyote, well, he might have busted some double talk, but it wasn't until the Great White Father showed up that everyone started speaking with forked tongue. Now, if we could just catch them young, then maybe they'd learn how to use their chromosomes like algebra and biology, where X plus X equals life and breath. Y and Y only make two things, Jack and shit. But Jack is still so obsessed with his own candlestick that he don't even recognize there ain't no trick to getting Jill up that hill, because no matter how nimble he is with his skills, he's just too damn quick to play the rabbit when the trouble hits. But I guess that's how it goes when you're forced to grow on recycled poetry and pre and prose like Yo MTV selling out the movement to Starbucks, spinning our straw into their gold. And now wisdom is imprisoned in old folks' homes while children are left sleepwalking through sacred dreamcast instead of casting their dreams into every grain of sand. So while their thumbs go numb, entire oceans spill right through their hands. But there has got to be a way to save the day. Even if the Aztecs and the Mayans say in that Atlantis kind of way that we only got a few years left, we have still got to end all this theft and relearn our ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, because once we have the propensity to see that there are far more than just 3 wise men and women who deserve to be heard, history will be alive and well and living in spoken word. Thank you for listening. I'm going to read a couple pieces out of, I have a book here called 2020 Divisions. I'll put all my links in the chat here when I'm done. But this 2020 Divisions, it is available on that place that we shall not name. So if you're outside of the country, you'd have to order it through them. However, if you are in the USA, you can order directly from me. And you'll get signed copies and everything, and they each come with like a random extra bonus poem in the back. So I'll put all that information in there when I'm done. So I'm going to read a couple pieces out of here. Here's the title track, if you will, 2020 Divisions. I really just don't know what to say anymore. I thought for sure that the world would be better than this, but I guess I was wrong. Time to go write another song. You see, as Sam said earlier, this world makes no sense to me. So I mean music and poetry. This is called Penny Wisdom, Copper Thoughts. Why does it seem that those who make no sense always seem to be the first to put sense in? From what I can see, there are only 3 true shortages in this world: humanity, compassion, and common sense. We owe this planet a recompense. And then I also have this CD here, Haiku, Tenka, and Senryu. Oh my, that is also available as well. So this is, I have a few pieces that are both in the book and on the CD because they're haiku stories. So this is a story told in haikus. This is called Complex PTSD Heredity. After your absence, I was left inanimate before all went blank. Thousands of stories can be told by one picture. Nothing was added. Diaphoresis. Whenever I see you here, fight or flight takes hold. Father-son cycle. No one exists on purpose. Ghosts of past abuse. Inside the cocoon, the chrysalis is waiting. Metamorph or die. I don't know how many of you started a relationship during the pandemic. That happened a lot. A lot of relationships got broke up during the pandemic. Happened a lot. This is a poem. This is called The Cell Phone Ringtone Blues. I just had to look when you weren't looking. Ill-advised, perhaps unwise, but I just had to see the lies with mine own eyes. It would seem that sometimes stardust is not, in fact, forever. It's probably pointless, but I wanted you to know you're leaving me with quite the heartache in my soul. You were always my volcano, but that was just your smoke ash. And then, so this is broken up in a couple chapters. The first one is just like life and love and, all that. Second half is why they call me propaganda poet. This is called Open Season on Poetry. And I got a fight club mentality and a they live reality. It's like Sesame Street insanity every time I try to step out that door. We're trapped in this capitalist idiocracy, married to rampant religious hypocrisy with planned obsolescence bureaucracy, inviting the vultures to come on in and just feast on the poor. We follow a piecemeal constitution in need of massive evolution. We need a new and improved revolution. They've been milking theirs for hundreds of years. It's time for real reclamation. Let's brand it, reboot the declaration, hopefully recapture the attention of the nation away from these systematic media spastic fears. We suffer snake charmer leadership because we have prepubescent readership. It's like a sad, sadistic comic strip. We're in a film that's both fluff and snuff. This neo-American dreamscape has been built on congressional class rape. How much more manipulation are we going to take? Because when is enough finally enough? The price is far too high, and the end is far too nigh. This will become the time that democracy forgot if we fail to rise up and heed this cry. This is another one that is both in the book and on the CD. Time to break the mirror. Human existence is the greatest theater. So entertaining. Our visions of God reveal ourselves more than our visions of God. Karma is kicking our collective asses, but it's all our own fault. An honest to God message from God this last year. Message not received. Too many damn lists. Commandments, rights, soiled laundry. All we need is love. And then I'll do one more piece from the book here. I haven't done this one in a while. This is called Red Sails in the Morning. Winter is here. It's the storm of the year. Self-interest snowflakes bury us in white privilege blizzards, leaving us all snowed. Recent statistics show that the primary provider of mental health services in America is the prison system. There are so many things to unpack in this fact that I don't even know where to begin to start, but maybe to get to the heart of the matter, perhaps we should probably process this constant blockade to progress that might just be forcing us to lose our focus. It would appear that red is the perfect color. For anger and fear are like flypaper for the emotionally and morally bankrupt, so easy to corrupt. When America is in a red state of mind, here is what we find. Toxic masculinity is just part of the scenery. A woman's body is just another commodity. And because we demand better, somehow we're the oddity. Accountability is an endangered species as our truth, logic, and reason. And treason, well, I guess that's just another day at the office these days. Now, while it might appear that blue is part of this fight, the ones who always win always seem to be white. How can any of this be right? This machine is no mystery. It's got us ignoring actual history. This has all gone much too far. We have lost important impressions and forgotten our Scooby-Doo lessons about who the real monsters are. Now I'm going to give you some new shit. This is all, these are some micros that I have written for 30 for 30. Anyone doing a 30 for 30 challenge? Well, that's what I'm doing, and here's what I got. This one, a lot of these are haikus. Other ones are just micros. figure it out. Amend the 13th. Emancipation, pardon the restoration, feign deliverance. This one is called, where'd you go? This one's called Wounded Knee Massacred. Prayer ties, sage, and sweetgrass, littered with beer bottles, cigarette butts, and shell casings, marking the landscape with the Venn diagram of the colonizers. This is called Welcome to the Daily Flail. Not a day goes by I don't cry out in questions, forgotten lessons. This is called Waving the Red Flag. An empty suitcase longing to be filled again, heavy with baggage. The silence between. If you're just a stray, posted in the notes not played, jazz me poetic. Starving artist. Hungry for your love, table scraps become a feast when given no choice. Road closed ahead. These words between us navigating the distance since the bridge collapsed. And then this is one last little story, haiku story. This is called Personal Effects. The personal effects, the personal effects. A house now vacant, walls and halls still echoing. Personal effects. Space may be vacant, spirits still retain your shapes. Personal affects. Souls gone wandering, shadows anchored, darkness felt. Personal effects. Creeping into cracks, pain attempts to take control. Personal affects. Personal effects linger in the folded fear. Personal affects. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you one more slam piece I used to do, and then I'll finish it up with a song. So then I can get these other poets on here, and we can listen to, if you haven't already jumped onto the open mic list, do so we can have some poetry tonight, shall we? This one goes out to all my mental health homies. Dare not be different, lest ye shall be sedated. Man, fuck a Ritalin. You got skills. With the force of 10 wills, knowledge spills from you like a quasar of enlightenment until the truth goes supernova. But take care not to bask in your own glory too long, or you may become prone to soul burn. As emotions turn just to go through the motions, I suddenly have the notion that I've been talking to myself. Again, spinning on my own axis like some perpetually spinning planetoid who just happens to orbit close enough to my sun to keep us both barely alive. This struggle to survive eclipses the tides and drowns out the moon, and suddenly I realize that it is far too soon for me to be sharing this all with you. A celestial heavenly body that my comet just happens to be tailing through, but only you take me to those inner spaces of places that I care not to define, but with the right amount of wine and weed, we might just give the capitalists some basic needs and maybe even feed each other like two opposing black holes with a whole lot of space in between. And have you seen the great white whale or heard the banshee's wail, or have winds of strange just once again been reduced to yet another great white clearance sail? And will you hail Mary for me if she should actually be able to find herself? Because I just got to ask, why? Why? Why is the weight of the world on such a lonely girl, hiding in your barn so no one can hear you scream, I scream, we all scream for ice cream, and these days that makes us all ADHD, but I wonder how much of a dosage they would need to stop the chaotic cycles of the entire Milky Way from coloring outside the lines. And how many times do I tell the teacher that orange duck is yellow, I'm colorblind? But we just waste all our time just waiting in line until our stellar rotations just lead and self-medication, so we lose orientation to a far greater force of nature. So if you hate your current dosage, then pick up your pen and make it your friend and weave the magic words with me. Fuck the Ritalin. We got skills. Okay, my guitar. Here we go. One last piece for you. So I've been doing this thing lately that I've been having a lot of fun with, where I do cover songs, but then I mix in my own poetry. So that's what I'm going to give you. Hopefully this is in tune. Okay, this will take me 2 seconds. So yeah, cover songs with my poetry mixed in. So that's what this is. There's the one. Okay, there we go. So without further ado, you can't have a poetry reading without love, right? So here's some love for you. We'll start it out with the love story in 6 words. A love story in 6 words. Boy meets girl. Equation for disaster. All respect to the late great Bill Withers. My friend, feel it's their appointed duty. Keep trying to tell me that I ought to not let you just walk on me. Well, my answer, Lord, to all that useless stuff. Say, I want to spread the news that if it feels as good getting used, you can keep on using me. You use me up. Man, forget the eggshells. I'm walking barefoot on broken glass every time we pass in the night. Daily, I prepare myself for yet another heart attack. Because every day you attack my heart. Start this vicious cycle, flying away itself again. And remember way back when we swore that we'd always be friends, and now we're just trying to pretend that we ain't just falling for the fallout. Residual sex effect takes a stranglehold grip over the entire situation. Perpetual manipulation like a blanket of night, extinguishing the light, turning our tunnel of love into just another black. My brother, send me right down and he'd talk to me. He trying to tell me that I ought to not let you just walk on me. And I sure admit, well, but when that talk goes through, I said, brother, if you only knew, you wish you were in my shoes. You can keep on using me until you use me up. Man, there are as many sides to this story as there are definitions of commitment and honesty. So, honestly, heartbreak is really just a fool's disease, because it is with great ease that we fall for the fallacy instead of facing the reality that love is about growing and knowing things that start fast, live fast, die fast, but we just can't seem to get past the myth that it happens each and every day, and it's always right there, just within our reach, if only we can find a way. But they also say that the road to hell is paved with sometimes really do abuse me. Yeah, me and a crowd of high-class people, you act real rude to me. But oh, baby, when you love me, I can't get enough. Yeah, I want to spread the news that if it feels as good getting used, you can keep on using me until you use me. But the way I see it, this is really all just a crock of shit. If we really take a good hard look at this, we'll see that we actually create our own fantasies. And that road is actually just paved with our own selfish needs to please ourselves. Thusly, we create our own personal hell. So fuck these eggshells. I gotta face the facts that pretty soon this is all just gonna be in the past. And all these painful memories and all these self-medicating remedies will only serve to remind me that it's the scars, not the pain. Laugh. Talk about using people, it all depends on what you do. You see, it ain't so bad the way you're using me, cause I sure am using you to do the things you do. So even though I fractured my own needs and brought me down to my knees, all I can think of to say is, please? Please don't leave? Because you see, your love is like eating deep fried Twinkies, slowly hardening my arteries and seizing my heart. Thank you for listening. Thank you for encouraging my behavior. Thank you, Sam, for pulling this together. Thank you for all the hard work you do keeping spaces like this, because spaces like this, there are people here right now experiencing this that wouldn't be doing so without spaces like this to get us through. So thank you for having a space like that for people like us.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to be here. I know that, you know, you made sure to make it in time, and that really means a lot. That was wild and amazing. And I guess the question I gotta ask is, where can we find you? What do you want to tell the people?
Yes, let me jump on this here right quick. Here is all my stuff. I literally like walked in the door, logged in, like I made up my set while I went. It was like that kind of night. So, but it was fun and awesome, man. Here you go.
I agree with Florence. All right. I'm gonna take
there's
that
all my stuff there.
I'm gonna take that whole thing. I'm gonna put it up in the comments for everyone who is able to find us. So thank you so much for being here. And it was a great time having you.
Thank you.
We'll see.
I'm looking forward to hearing some other poetry from some amazing poets. This is gonna be a great night.
Great night. So we will see you around. I'm sorry. You said
just peace, love, and poetry, y'all. That's
all. For those who are hoping to find Propaganda Poet, I have posted his links in the comments. So this way you will be able to find him. With that, like I said, you're not here for me. You're here for the poets. You're here for the art. So we're just going to keep on trucking right on through with our next poet. This next poet, first off, before I continue, is a personal friend of mine. They are a wonderful human being, and I very much enjoy them. I would not have been able to put this book together if it was not for her help, and I cannot thank her enough for that, and or embarrass her and give her enough credit in the process. With that said, Brielle, I've never messed up a name before. Here we go. Brielle Elise is an editor, author, and digital artist. Her work touches upon the little universes in every piece of art, no matter what form it may take. The Little Brown Book is her first poetry collection. It is out now. She is here now. She will hopefully forgive me that I messed up her name. Welcome to the virtual stage, Brielle. Hi, Brielle.
Hi, Sam.
I knew this was going to see. This is why you never make mistakes ever, and everything must always be flawless.
No, if everything was flawless, I'd be out of a job.
This is fair.
It's fair.
All right. Brielle, I'm gonna let you take it away.
Well, thank you. Ding me if you need to. I timed all of this, but I'm still not entirely sure. So that's okay. We're gonna start with the opening poem from my first poetry collection called The Little Brown Book. And The Little Brown Book is basically It's split into 3 sections. It's a lot of poems from when I was in my undergrad and going through my early 20s, with a couple newer poems and stanzas spliced in. And then I have, I think, 2 or 3 brand new poems that I'll get to at the end. So without further ado, this is the opening poem of the Little Brown Book, and it's called The Only Journal You Ever Needed. The easiest way to receive journals is to say you're a writer. Acquaintances, coworkers, secret Santas who need to keep it under $10, your sweet Aunt Martha, who's a bit out of touch. They will all give you a journal. Because, hey, you write, right? That's the writerly thing to do, to sit under a tree or in a coffee shop, blissfully writing in a journal. Or at least, that's what they envision. They don't know how your eyes ache from staring at a blank page for hours, with not even a single sentence to grace any of the pages that they thoughtfully gave you. The journals will sit in your closet and collect dust until it's time to give away the old or unused. You decide to donate most of them, but keep one, your Little Brown Book, because hey, you write, right? Maybe something will happen just this once. Okay, we're going to go on to the second poem. It's called The Half Alive Poet Society. To be completely honest, I never gave much thought to poetry. I never called myself a poet or thought anything of the haphazard stanzas I'd scribble out every now and again. I'm no Whitman or Sandburg. Yet despite that, I do know a thing about beauty and how to dive for dreams. I can sing a morning song and carefully think over the variations on the word love. I don't need a victory parade, just the chance to love everything, even if that everything is poetry. So the poem's about poetry. Thanks, Jeff. My whole first section of the Little Brown Book is just called About Writing. And I struggled with writer's block a lot during college. And I had so many poems just about that and writing in general. So the section's split up into 3. So there's about writing, about love, and then about everything else. So this poem is from the second section of my book called About Love. This poem's called Vienna. Sometimes, without calling upon them, I see pictures, scenes from the past. In those darker moments, that's where I go. I gather them and they gather me. My mind is vivid and it wanders off with them. Right now, I see a strange, tall man in a white dress shirt on a bed wetted by his own tears in a faraway city. The rain pitter-patters on the streets 4 stories below us. There are shouts from the room next door. The lamp on a bedside table emits a yellow glow that casts tea-dark shadows on his face. I wait for him to notice me, but he knows I'm already there. And just before the words come, I wake. My thoughts remind me of the rain that night, and I need to stop. This is in the final section of my book called About Everything Else. And the next 2 poems are about my grandparents, for which the book is dedicated for my grandfather. This poem is called For the Dancers. Many of the kids in my neighborhood had finished basements filled with video games, entertainment systems, snacks, and pillow fort couches. I thought that was so cool. At my house, we had tile instead of carpet and mirror walls instead of light paint. Instead of the latest television set, we had an ancient record player that crooned foxtrots and mambos, as my grandfather chided my grandmother for a misplaced foot or an offbeat. We had their banter and music that drifted up through the floorboards on hazy afternoons. Don't run on the tile, my grandmother would say, or else you'll crack your skull open. I'd scrunch my face, but I knew she was right because the floor was made for dancers, the ones who visited during Christmas and New Year's at parties where kids weren't allowed but would sneak downstairs anyway for a peek at those spinning sequenced dresses. And I still think that was so cool. The next one is another one about my grandparents. It's called The Way of Threes. After several weeks of piano lessons, I finally figured out why I like waltzes, or more specifically, why I'm drawn to them. It's funny how music has this way of tickling the senses, dredging up dusty memories that you thought had been flushed away ages ago. When I play a waltz, I see my grandfather. I am standing on his toes as he steps 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, twirling us slowly underneath a tired ceiling fan. My grandmother watching us with a smile from a couch as she folds laundry. I giggle as his large hands help me keep balanced, the smell of his cologne and incense in the air. "This is how you waltz, Dolly," he said to me. I didn't get it then, or after he released me to the floor. It wasn't until after he passed that I could finally feel the rhythm through those black and white keys. My next poem is also in the section called About Everything Else, and this one is called Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Sorry, I'm just so OCD, I hear people say. No, you're not, I think, as they quickly hide a mess that either just happened or has probably been there for days. I doubt they clean their bathroom at 3:47 in the morning because it's the only way to make them feel like they haven't completely lost control. I doubt they grip the steering wheel on the way to work as thoughts race across their mind, threatening their hands to make a U-turn in order to check if the purse in the back seat is actually there or not. But what if I did forget my purse at home? Then that would mean I'm driving without my license, which could cause me to get pulled over. And if I get pulled over, then I'll probably get a ticket, which means I'll probably have to pay at least $500, and I don't have that kind of money this month, which would put me behind on bills. And you okay? They ask me as I realize I am silently spiraling. No, I think, I just have OCD, and your house is dirty. So the next couple poems are brand new poems. I'm already putting together another collection called Shadows on the Moon, and this is one of the poems from that. It's called Vasovagal Syncope, kind of going hand in hand with the previous one. New, this is Sam. Yes. I haven't performed this one yet, so just bear with me. It's when the part of my nervous system that regulates my blood pressure malfunctions, usually due to a trigger like overexerting myself, abrupt changes in temperature, or extreme stress. It's when my heart rate slows and the blood vessels in my legs dilate, causing the blood to pool. The lowered blood pressure plus the slowed heart rate reduces the flow of blood to my brain, and then I faint. This is what my doctor told me at 15, but for me, it's when everything slows down. It's when the dull ache in the back of my head alerts me to lay on the floor, to stick near a wall so that I don't fully collapse, because a concussion will make everything worse. It's when people stare at my unconscious body, all the while someone frantically tries to call for help or for an ambulance as I slur my words together, squinting through the light and noise, begging them, please don't. Because my family can't afford another one, because you don't call for an ambulance every time your computer reboots. You just wait for it. This one is called Microsoft Clippy Told Me to Get Help. Microsoft Clippy told me to get help, and I ignored him. He watched as fourth grade me desperately tried to type that letter, offering gentle but direct assistance, and yet I foolishly pushed him away, too eager to prove to myself that I didn't need any help, that everything was okay. He was the first to let me know that something seemed off, but I called him a nuisance because I was either too proud or too scared to admit that I had no idea what I was doing. A long line of faces and I'm fines followed him, and I found it easy to cast away guidance during moments when I needed it most. Now, as an adult, I look to the heavens and shout, Clippy, take the wheel. This is my last poem. This is called Awakening, and it's about being bisexual. She had straw hair and bluebell eyes that crinkled lightly as I made her laugh, a sweet morning dove song that passed from her peach lips. She had a gentle way of speaking as she read my runes and cards, kindly smiling as she told me to wield my creativity like a sword. She smelled of incense and soap, had a bookshelf quiet about her, a silly but sly sense of humor, and pale skin she hid from the sun. But she also had a girlfriend, one that dangled her relationship over her head like a juicy carrot, even though she was the real swine. I had these thoughts and I wondered, what do these feelings mean? I told myself she was like a sister and I'm just protective of family. She gave me knowledge of myself, something I didn't initially understand, but dawned on me years later as we drifted apart. I think I might actually have time for one more, so I'll just do a real quick one at the end. It's the last poem of my book, The Little Brown Book, and it's called Mending Bridges. I don't know if you'd call this hope. It's more like a quivering dream, a silent will that I drive into action, to lay the past and hurt behind us, to pray that time does what it should, that forgiveness will pave a road forward to something better, something kinder. And I'm okay with whatever that might be. And that's it. Thank you.
Yay!
Did you like the nuance?
I don't know which line is the one that I want to like yell at the top of my lungs.
Clippy take the wheel?
Either Clippy take the wheel or like or when the computer reboots, you don't like you just wait for it. Like that one, it's like oh no, that one hurts. I loved it so much.
Thank you.
Clippy take the wheel. Okay, so where in this wide world can we find you? Where can we find your book? Tell us, oh wise one.
Okay, so the book is on Amazon. I highly suggest when you type in The Little Brown Book, also type in Brielle Elise, because for some reason, if you just put The Little Brown Book in, it doesn't really come up. I don't know. There's like other books like this, I guess. I don't know, with similar titles. So just search it with my name. That's the best way to get it immediately. All of my information is on my website, which is BrielleEliseInfo.com, because Brielle Elise was taken. There's another Brielle Elise. She's a yoga instructor and took all of the handles that I wanted. But I hope she's doing well. You do you. So I'm Brielle Elise Info on pretty much everything else.
I want to find them and be mad at them for you.
It's some bougie California yoga instructor. And I said, okay, I didn't know there was another one of me. That's amazing.
Brielle Elise, if you're watching this, give us our handles back. All right, thank you. And we're going to move right along. We will see
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We are trucking right along as we delve down this strange road into a night filled with poetry. We have our last feature of the night, and I am very excited to have him. I'm very excited that y'all are here. Like, let me be very candid. Hold on. Like, y'all could be anywhere else in the world right now, and you are chilling at home, listening to some relaxing poetry. Maybe you are like Mariah, who's at work, just listening to us, and I have to say thank you for that. With that said, our next poet, Nicholas Paleologos, is a poet, spoken word artist, and cosplayer who lives in New Jersey. Since 2020, he has performed online and in person open mics, including the New Yorican Poets Cafe and the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. He was featured with Why Open Pandora's Box at the NYC Poetry Festival in 2021. He hosts a bi-weekly open mic, Poetry Time with Nick P. with The Word Is Right. He has done workshops with the Tumblewords Project in El Paso, Texas, and with The Word Is Right, amongst other platforms. He has worked on and contributed to 3 anthologies, Quarantine, I Can't Breathe, and Love Letters to Gaia. His first book, Ad versus Reaction, is available for purchase through Red or Green Books. Welcome to the stage, Nick Paleologos.
Let's do this. What is up, Sam? How are you?
I'm great. I am kind of mad at myself because I succeeded in your name and failed at Brielle.
You know what? It just be like that sometimes. I'm a host to myself. I flub up names and everything too. It happens. We correct ourselves. We move on. Things happen, you know.
I'm so glad to have you. And you know what? I am going to leave. So take the stage.
I am taking the stage. What a great space you have here, Jeff. Sam. I'm just noticing Jeff in the comments right there with the Garage Poets. I see you, Jeff. So I'm gonna see if I have time to do 9 pieces or 10 or 11. We'll see. These first 3 are haikus, and they're pretty new. Haiku. An original. A copy of a copy. Nothing ever is. Haiku. Missiles burst in air. Flowers refuse to glow up. Nuclear fallout. Haiku. Imposter syndrome. Grappled in codes of the soul. Which am I today? That was the 3 haikus. So I normally don't open up with new stuff and everything like that, but this one is also a relatively new piece of mine. And I've never read this one before, and I'm looking forward to this, see what y'all think of it. This one's called Unworthy. I am not worthy of being in your presence. I told myself in the mirror many times. I looked at the mirror and thought the worst of me. That's the way I used to look at myself. I still do. It's hard when the world thinks little of you, how your accomplishments don't mean much. I wanted to be a specter. A ghost can possess anything, whatever I could have. Anything I want in the world. Revenge would be a hot dish, all of my rage boiled into a plate served with rice. Yet, I didn't want to cause harm. There's enough of that in the world. This isn't a poem for happy endings. You ever tear out your soul to see the fragments of who you were? You ever wanted to release them, all that negative, to the ether, to never return? You ever wanted to take the flaws and claw them out of your being? I have tried. It's like wishing you never existed. Who would want to hear dead screams? Not the living. The dead wouldn't care. So what is the point of living if all I am ever going to be is a dead scream? Maybe I'm possessed by an imposter. Who is it hiding underneath my mask? I certainly don't see a ghost at all when I look in the mirror. The personal effects are dark circles, tiredness, and misery, to name a few. Once again, this isn't a poem with a happy ending until death tells me to walk away. All right. So that was a bit heavy right there. So we're going to switch it up and everything like that. We're going to go to this beautiful book, Ad versus Reaction. And this one is called Where is the Light? Where can I find light? I searched caves and abandoned structures for it. I swayed through campgrounds and oceans for it. I peered into water for it. I scanned sun for it. I glanced at moonlight's reflection for it. I stared at lightning for it. I waited for thunder to feel it. I climbed mountains to touch it. I inhaled air to smell it. I engulfed food for it. I walked down fields to embrace it. I danced with death to never take it for granted. I called for heaven to crack the sky like champagne on New Year's. I tried to fly like a falcon. I crashed to earth just like everyone else does. Known as personal hell, gremlins goblin like goblins groveling over dinner. There wasn't enough of me to go around. Birds' chirps pierced me, awoken something more fouler than what they were. I punched my way through these fears, leaving behind a trail ablaze in brimstone, approaching the gates of hell. I broke the lock. The gates cracked and were disposed of. The imps withdrawn, no longer shackled. I rose up from the dirt hole again, atomically down to the last proton. I realized there was no light on the outside. I had to look within for it. All right, y'all. So checking my time. I'm doing very well. This new one, this is another new one too as well. So you're all going to get some new ones and everything. And I don't think I've ever done this one too as well. And it's a fun one. I think you'll like it. This one's called The Aftertaste of Magic. I swam with sunlight. A cascade of clouds surrounded, glorious sun on top of the lake. I tasted the beauty of daylight. It washed away all the pain of yesteryears. Of all the parts of my machinery, I didn't rust. I bathed in paradise. Spellbinding waters of the lake, I have been bewitched by the lake's beauty. The legends are true when you dive into it. Intoxication with the alchemy of the water, an icy chill of relaxation, a warmth that only a grandparent could give. There is witchcraft amongst the lake if you believe in it. The lake became a cauldron, a brewery of magic in the mountains. I was bestowed a wand. You deserve all that is here to bask in it. I tasted the sweet aftertaste of that statement. It washed out the bitter feeling in my gut. I felt the nourishment of Mother Gaia's gift. Even though it is a memory, I still remember the taste of the landscape. It is magic witnessed best in reality, not from my memory. Go on and experiment with the magic in the world. You deserve the best for yourself. You've shed too many tears to make 24 jugs of salt water. You know that is only a drop in the ocean. Go on to the sea. She calls you to come home. Go swim with the sunlight. Feel the freedom and love of all the magic in the water, and swim within the rays of sunshine. All right, y'all. I'm doing solid on time right there. So this one is also another fun one too as well. I love doing this one too as well. It's a relatively new one, but I love doing this one, and I figured y'all would enjoy this too as well. This one's called Breaking Out of the Canvas to Get to Paradise. I want to leave the landscape I'm in, to travel beyond what the canvas shown, take the acrylic and oil, mold into soil, grow new beginnings, new imprintings, new images that my paintbrush completes with a stroke, a single blow, that touch that deities dream about. Call stellar constellations to shoot stars into the hoops of space, where boredom has no place, where interesting and strange are buddies, where there is no violence by any means necessary, no murder, no rape, no assault on any headquarters, where peace isn't just a piece of the sign thrown up as just a V, but we. Take me to that place where the stories are campfires, where I don't have to bring suitcases full of empty spirits and dead clothing. We can unpack our troubles, get the full story, be at the forefront of love. We can paint hearts in the sky, turn thunderstorms into sunny days, make snow where we don't have to clean up, heat waves where we don't burn, turn droughts into rain clouds, where we can be who we are. We can turn our bodies of clay into whatever we want. That is the place I want to go to, if only it were an imagination. Whew. All right. So we're going to go back to the book for a bit. I think for the rest of this set, actually, too, as well. And this one is one that I like to do as well, because I like to dance. And I like EDM music, too, as well. So this one is called Electronic Dancing Machine. Or Electric Dancing Machine, excuse me. Correct myself there. Electricity dances through me. My feet slide, hips shake, arms flail. It's not EDM that washes over me. Me. Entrance, in trance, into transcending the soul outward. Electricity enters the building, striking a lightning pose, burning a dance floor as the bass booms. It's only me and electricity. No need for a drug, no need for another partner, something. In this moment, these 3 minutes feel like 3 days have passed through me without aging me a minute. I'm dancing in space, where my spirit is ether, where my body is cosmic, where my mind is omniscience, where I wholly feel free. Electricity jolts out of my being towards space. I came crashing to earth, arisen out of dirt to find the rhythm so that I can and I will run that track back. All right, y'all. So this next one is, I did this one in a Paul con queso workshop, which is which you should definitely go check out whenever Paul does a workshop. It really will open your mind up to everything too as well. It's a really, really, it was a really fun time, and I made some great pieces that made into the book too as well. And yeah, it's amazing. So this one is called Out of Tune, Yet in Sync with the Earth. My body is a rhythm that no one understands. My feet shuffle like a deck of cards. My arms tick-tock, alarm clock as rhythm graces, sacrifices the nerves for flow. My body is a rhythm that no one understands. My hands flow with the winds of change. My hips are afraid to reveal too much. To revel and unravel, I love how it moves, grooves against the pavement. The payment is indifference. My body is a rhythm that no one understands as my feet taste the salty sand. Crystals caress my body, sway with me. Take the edges, press against my lips. Run down to my rib cage where coconuts kiss my heart, where mangoes embrace my lungs as the island inhales my body with a crowd of people watching, waiting. They try to decipher what my pottery is speaking. It is like reading Hellenic and only knowing English. My body is a rhythm that no one understands. I am okay with this. All right, y'all. I got 2 more in me and everything too as well. It's National Poetry Month, and I get when you do the 30 for 30 and shit gets tough. Let's be real. It gets tough. This one is for if you're ever in a funk. This one's called Boxed. I have been in a funk, write, create, repeat, boxed in like boxer cornered to the post, pain like Pacquiao punches, like Tyson punches, like posting up, like Abdul-Jabbar, like Duncan, like Antetokounmpo. Move swift, move forceful, hook the shot, swish, no rim, until tiredness takes over. 2 a.m. beckons, can't sleep. I have a fresh idea put to paper, drying out the ink from my soul, which makes me less of a person. I'm in pain. I'm eating the same meal over and over again. It's a bland deliciousness of the same sad energy. Someone save me, grasp my hand, pull me out of the ocean of my own emotions. I have been looming for oxygen. I only inhale fire. My lungs need more than emotion. My mind shifts gears. I can't stop. Everything around me illuminates me to write another ad versus reaction. I am boxed in, floating on an ocean, loom for land. I am hungry again. I will die if my soul won't be filled. All right, y'all. We're approaching the end of my set and everything. So I just got one more left for y'all. Unless if I still have time, but it looks like I'm at 13 minutes. So I got time for this one last one for y'all. And the beauty of this last one is I usually close with this one. But the specialty of this piece, and I'll explain this for a second. I wrote this one 2 weeks after getting my second vaccination, going to my first ever show. And it felt like I was coming home. And I also did this one at the New York City Poetry Festival last year. So I hope you all enjoy this one to close me out. This one's called Welcome Home. Home is not a structure. It isn't a place to carve condos out of wood and gravel or mansions out of castles. It is a haven away from attacking ravens that are ravenous to suck you dry to the last bone marrow. A place to retreat from defeat and mend your broken arrows. A place to celebrate your victories, to sing praise, to bask in benevolent beats and beauty. Home was taken away from me in 2020. I had to find a new shelter. It was a water fronting, breaking, opening my third eye to tearing tears out of the cornea down to the earth. See beyond towns, homes, and lands to understand elegance. It's more than a year later. More than 200 poems written, been a host on 9 different platforms. I brought more substance to the talented table I break bread with. It was never about the food or drinks. It's about the stories and memories. I'm not afraid to wear my scars like tattoos. I'm not afraid of censoring myself. I'm not afraid to call multiple places primary residences. Home is where the music sings without instruments and instructions. Home is where the words wrap around the mind and kiss the ears. Home is where the mic is filled from case to screen with music, comedy, and poetry. Home is friends. Friends become family. Family is forever. No matter how far away we all are. And that's more than 15 minutes of me. Thank you, Sam. Oh, you're muted.
That I was wooing and making words, and listen, we all do our best at any point in our lives. Like, that's all we can do. Thank you for being here, Nick. What do you want to tell the people? Where can we find you?
Yes, you could find me on Instagram, the real Nick P on IG, Facebook, my name right there, Nick Paleologos right there. Again, this is my book, Ad versus Reaction. I have copies still for sale, so if you want to get one, you can message me on one of those platforms. If you don't have that, you can just comment in the comment section. Everything too will say I don't have that. Like, I'll reach out. We'll work something out where like we can like communicate and everything like that and everything. So yeah, this has been such a phenomenal night. Propaganda and Brielle both were phenomenal. And Sam, you're doing a great job hosting. Don't worry about the mistakes. You're good. We all here for you. We love you. You're freaking awesome. You know what I'm saying?
It's the mistakes are what make it fun.
Exactly.
We're here for the chaos. That's the goal. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you later. You'll be around. We got you.
Absolutely, yeah. And actually, also, my mic now, the one you mentioned in my bio, Poetry Time with Nick P, that's changed now to right to the mic now. So we have a workshop right before the open mic now. So I have yet to update that bio, and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot.
It's all good. Right to the mic with Nick P. It's a lot of fun if you've never been. I got to go. What was it, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
It was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was a lot of fun having you there. So it was such a great time.
I'll be back.
Heck yeah. I can't wait to have you all back and everything, and definitely come through. You know, we write, we do poetry live, and whatever you want to do live. Yeah.
All right. With that said, thank you to all of our amazing features. Thank you to Propaganda Poet. Thank you to Brielle. Thank you to Nick. Thank you to whoever's been tuning in, listening, hanging out, watching. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we do this because we enjoy it, and we hope that whoever's out there is enjoying it as well. With that, this is that moment where I got to do like my job and like plug some stuff. So here we go. Second Renaissance Art is an arts education program that looks to provide premier classes, online programming, and starting relatively soon, in-person programming. We are working to provide people with an artistic space, create a community, and build an artistic vision, all of us together. With that, some of our upcoming events are as follows. On Friday, we are having a virtual book release party for A Candle Regaining Strength, my book. It is being hosted by my my business partner, my co-host, my friend who puts up with all of this nonsense, Sarah. She will be hosting and asking me questions and making me generally uncomfortable. And it'll be fun to watch. After that, we have oh my God, my brain just stopped for a second. We have on the 7th of May our poetry hike. It is called Poetry in the Park. It is going to be in at Homedale Park. You can come on out, read some poems, kind of maybe meditate, go on a hiking journey, and just become one with nature and hopefully get some cool art out of it. We are going to be at a bunch of events. We've been at a bunch of events throughout National Poetry Month, and we're going to keep on going to all of these amazing things. We have events coming up all throughout May and June. Summer registration for classes is open. You can sign up for either week by week or you can sign up for all the sessions. We are offering Beginner Fiction 1, which is for those who maybe are trying to, just get a bit of workshop help, really get started. And then we've got Fiction 2 with Sarah. And again, you can either sign up class by class and join us, or if you want to pay for the whole time, that would be nice as well. Either or, we'd be glad to have you. I'm definitely forgetting things, and Sarah's going to yell at me about it, but I can't do everything. With that said, we are not done yet. We have not one, but 2 people here for the open mic, which is more than one, and I'm very excited to have them. So with that said, let's welcome to the virtual stage multi-time micer, phenomenal feature. Always glad to have her here, Florence Suzanne. Hi.
Hi.
You know how this works. You've got the stage for 5 minutes. Have some fun. Read the poems.
Fucking dope. Please cut me off because I have no sense of time whatsoever.
I gotcha.
Hello, I'm Florence Suzanne. Hi. I just want to say everyone did absolutely amazing, and I just adore you all. I'm going to read something brand new that's going to be in my newest kind of venture again, my 3rd poetry book called Trigger Warning. So the title just says it all, and as I always say, if you don't come here to be sad, I'm so sorry. So this one is about a subject I don't talk about really ever because it's not something I enjoy talking about, but it's called A Letter to My Birth Mother. Dear name redacted, I guess I wanted to start this off by saying that I never gave up hope that you would one day come back for me, that you would regret leaving me behind like that one uncomfortably mushy grape that always found its way into my lunch bag. I always thought that one day the doorbell would ring and you'd be there, a shining light to cancel out the darkness I never understood. I wanted you to find me. Show me that you loved me, that my birth was monumental and meant something, anything to you. I wanted to remember what you looked like, often wondering if people would say, wow, you have your mother's eyes. Look at those cheeks. She gets that from her mom. I needed you to swoop me up into your arms and tell me that giving me up killed you. That it was the hardest decision you ever made, that you awoke every night crying out my name and clutching your heart-aching chest, but you never showed. I was always alone, eternally waiting for someone who forgot about me a long time ago. Eventually, I got older, aging into someone you wouldn't recognize, had my own children, showered them with the love I craved from you. And when I found you, I thought this was it. The moment I had waited my entire life for was here. I typed out a message. I hit send. You responded. And for a few fleeting messages in the weeks after I was high on the fumes of a lifelong quest finally come to completion, I was fulfilled. But soon the lies started rolling in. The stories told never matched what I knew was the truth. I was left disappointed. I wanted you to prove all the naysayers wrong, but at the end of the day, I was the one left sobbing in bed, clutching my chest, trying so hard to keep the heart you took a sledgehammer to in one piece. I guess regardless of the hopes and dreams you crushed without a single shred of remorse or accountability, this is goodbye. Sincerely, the Grape. And he hasn't cut me. Okay, he cut me off. Awesome.
You got no. You're good. You got time for one more if you want.
Time for one more. Oh shit.
You're also not obligated.
Okay, I got one. Please, I'm always gonna. So this one, again, is one I haven't performed yet. That's my fiance. Being, yeah.
Say hi to Sam.
Oh, he wanted to say hi to Sam. This one's called Abuse of Substance. It's a short one. Jesus Christ. It's called Abuse of Substance. Again, trigger warning. I also wanted to make note here that I have been sober for going on 6 years, so doing good. So abuse of substance. I came into this world with drugs in my system, and I have struggled with addiction every step of the way. Alcohol, nicotine, pills, the false promises of love and safety. I learned how to drown my problems from a young age, learning time and time again that the world doesn't look clearer through the bottom of a bottle. Nothing is ever solved when the prescription is empty. My stomach is burning and churning and gurgling, threatening to expel all the worst parts of my night and never the worst parts of myself. I worry if I'll make it to the can in time. Stay down, stay down. I cram my hands down my throat, trying to block all of my bad decisions from tearing their way through my esophagus. I don't want to be defined by my worst moments, by the bile that spewed from my mouth in an undignified, angry way. I fought too hard from my first breaths to let anyone rewrite a story they never heard from my lips. And that's all I got. Thank you, Sam. You're wonderful. And I just want to say that you always say we don't come here to listen to you. That is bullshit. We absolutely do. It is the best part of the mic, in my opinion. We love hearing you.
Thank you. That means a lot. Do you have anything you want to say? Where can we find you?
You can find me on pretty much any social media under Schizo Trash Poet, or some semblance of that. I'm on Facebook under Florence Suzanne Reppert. And you may find me, and I feel so bad, also on May 7th, featuring at King Coffee in Emmaus with Damien, Cord, Rebecca, all of my favorites besides you. And I want you to be there, but I know you have things, but I adore you and I love you.
Well, I will wish you best of luck. Have a great time. Say hello to everyone for me.
I will.
And it will be a blast. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. All right. And like I said, we don't have just one of my, we've got two this time, which is growth. And that's what we're here for. So without further ado, welcome to the virtual stage, Jeff Taylor. Hi, Jeff. Jeff, you are currently muted. I got you. Perfect. Hi, Jeff.
How's that? All right. It helps to be muted. But thanks for having me here.
Take it away.
All right. So let me get this up. All right, so this one is called American Brick Struggling with Zeno's Paradox. The first brick refuses to buy a microwave. He says because of radiation, but I suspect he owns a toaster oven factory. The second brick became internet famous for getting smashed over the head with a vanilla milkshake. He tries to sell me a bottle of ivermectin, autographed by Joe Rogan. The fourth brick has a family history of being the fourth brick. Her grandfather was originally intended for the Berlin Wall, but was redirected to a blood bank in Detroit. Brick 8 sits on the toilet retweeting Elon Musk. He claims to be advocating for free speech and decentralized banking, but I think he just likes smelling his own shit. The 16th brick got on a bus chartered to D.C. He was left behind in Atlanta when he went out for a cigarette. Nobody can explain how he wound up being thrown at a cop in Boston. Brick 32 is a paid informant. He took online swimming classes when the pandemic hit. He almost drowned because his connection sucked. Brick 64 unwittingly befriended an alt-right troll. They've only ever talked about addiction. Brick 128 thinks they are doing it for different reasons, but that's just mental masturbation. Brick 256 knows they all want to start a riot so widespread we have no choice but to start over just so they can say they own the libs. Brick 512 actually tried to overthrow the government, and nobody seemed to care or notice their numbers have been doubling. So that's that one. I get another one I could do that kind of goes with that, but I don't know what I have for time.
You're good. Take it away.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah, so like I said, this one kind of goes with that one. It's called The Bird Bath on the Moon. When QAnon's local representative told me Edward Snowden's oligarchs handlers revived the birds aren't real conspiracy to mock the bald eagle, I replied that I half expect news of a noticeable uptick in bird murders would arrive with my morning cereal, even though I haven't eaten a bowl since the 3rd grade when I puked back into my Wheaties. Since January 6th, it's easier to see connections in the glare of the winter sun that only exist after you've seen them. But as the ground warms around QAnon's followers, they are addicts without an organization to acclimate them. A bird bath on the moon, armed to the teeth with explosives. Yeah, that's that one. Thanks, Sam.
At some point, I will remember that my mic gets muted sometimes. At some point, I'll be a functioning member of society. It's only been, 2 years of trying to operate through online media. Jeff, where can we find you? What do you want to tell the people?
Well, I'm in the Garage Poets. I just dropped a link there in the chat to the Facebook page for the band. It's me and one other spoken word artist, Anna Jeffrey, with our bass player Ethan Mackler, who does like an improvised kind of various genre bass behind us, as depending on the poem. And
that's awesome. I immediately saw it, clicked it, liked it. So thank you.
We also have an open mic online every Friday night. Mm-hmm. And you can check out the group. There's a Garage Poets group on Facebook as well as the Garage Poets open mic. And I guess I can get a link for that. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, so every Friday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a open mic with features. And we love everybody come and check it out. There's the link for the Facebook group.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to join that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, please do. I'd love to see you.
Thank you for being there, Jeff.
Thank you for having us.
All right. And we'll see you in a little bit. With that said, we've had features. We've had an open mic. We've had a fun time, hopefully. Thank you all for joining us, and for those who made it from start to finish, thank you for being here. For those who stopped in, couldn't stay the whole time, thank you for whatever time you were able to give us. Thank you again to PropagandaPoet, to Brielle, to Nick for being here. Thank you to Florence and Jeff for joining us for the open mic. Check us out, secondrentarts.com. We are trying to make art and have some fun, why not? Thank you all and have an absolutely amazing evening. And wherever you are, thanks for being here now.